Mum, where's Facebook on your iPad again? Where's Facebook on your iPad again? With an F in it? Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Where have you hidden it? Oh, there it is. I got it. Oh, crap.
Background music.
Yeah, and it's not having it.
Oh.
It's not having it. He said it was just a case of putting it in and whatever. So I might have to send him a text. Jess, the DJ, he's literally just gone. So I'll have to send him a text and go, how'd you do it? Oh, come away. Right, that's going on. Right, everybody. Should we do this thing? Evening, everybody. It is me. We are here. This is. I'm bigger. Yeah, I'm bigger than real life. Yeah. Well, camera adds a few pounds. I feel like I'm holding this far too close, but it's fine. Good. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. This is mind-blowingly fantastic. And yeah, when I started the challenge, I never really thought I'd get to anywhere like this to finish off. But yeah, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. So we have the auction. All the auction stuff is over there. I've got everything connected to the internet. So if you want an internet access in the hotel, I don't think you're going to have it because I'm using it all. But we should have Facebook and YouTube live going at the same time. So all of you people on there that are watching it, which is probably about 3 of you, somebody probably can't hear it, I might try and do some video for them. But we have a live auction at 9:30 of 7 lots. And then we've got the silent auction, which is running all the way through the night until 10 o'clock, that finishes. So there are some bits of paper on your tables for you to put bids in. And in front of each item, there is an envelope. Put your bid in. So on the silent auction, it's what you are prepared to pay for it. We're not working up to the highest bids. It will be whatever you think you want to pay for it. And if you're the highest bid, that's what you're going to pay. I'm not expecting to be paid on the night. I'm not expecting you to pull out wads. Lovely if you could, but I'm not expecting wads of cash on the table. So if you do need to pay me afterwards, that's fine. If you want to arrange, we can arrange shipping, all that sort of thing. I'm basically basing it on trust because I've not got the capability to do credit cards or anything like that on the night. But I can take PayPal, and I know most of you and where you live, or where I can hunt you down anyway. So yes, we'll organise something if you can't pay something on the night. So don't think, oh, I've only got 10 quid in my pocket, I can't bid for anything, because you can. We'll get it sorted out afterwards. What else do I need to remember, Rebecca? What else do we need to remember?
I can do this without a microphone. Over the corner, there's some whiskies that Ben has brought, and you're welcome to have a little taste. Put them on.
And Claxton's as well. So Claxton's, yes, I updated you. Claxton's over there. So Claxton's, Adrian, who on my phone I've actually got as Adrian Claxton because I thought that was his surname. It's not. Yeah. Just emailed me out of the blue and said, we'd love to help you out. Would you be interested in doing a bottling, special bottling for a dram a day? And I was like, what? Seriously? Yes. So he has got a bottle which has got samples of the special a dram a day bottling, which is an 8-year-old Ardmore that's been matured in the Lefroy cask. There are 54 bottles for sale at £49.95. You can buy it through Gauntleys, which is a whisky shop in Nottingham.
Right. Yeah. So they sell online. So
yes, they do online. So for people watching overseas, they should be able to ship to you. So limited number of bottlings, and any of the profits that are from that bottling are being split. Half are going to Children's Heart Surgery Fund, and the other half is going to, is it the Jessica Hope Foundation, which is a charity that the Gauntly supports, that supports children with suffering from brain tumours and cancer, I think. Yeah. I said to Chris that I would get it right, and probably haven't. But yes, so all the profits from that bottling are going to charity. So you're getting a bottle of whiskey and you help the charity, and it's a really, really good whiskey as well. I'll probably do a separate video as a review for that. But do try it, and I think you can pre-order it now.
Yes, indeed. We're hoping it'll be available for shipping by the end of next week.
End of next week, it should be shipped out. So yeah, amazing, absolutely fantastic stuff. So I need a couple of volunteers just to do some pouring. Well, yeah, it wasn't that exciting. So I was going to plug my iPod in, and I was going to play the music for the intro and everything, and it doesn't work. But never mind. So I'll talk about the distillery while they're pouring, and then when I'm tasting. Oh yeah, you want to know which one it is, don't you? The Bruichladdich, the big bright blue one. Now that doesn't work. There we go. I'm not sure whether people watching on the Tinterwebs are actually going to be able to see what's on there. And I've also noticed that the screen goes all wavy, so if I punch it, it looks like it's underwater. So the first one of the night, and the first of the final 3, but Dram 364, is Bruichladdich Classic. And is there a what? Use your teeth if needs be. Probably should have opened them beforehand, shouldn't we? I'll keep nattering while we get it round to you, because I want to actually talk about, see, they're not going to pick that up on the cameras, this lady here, who's called Christy McFarlane, who, if you ever want an example of just amazing customer service, she is it. And I'm hoping she's watching at some point, so she knows how amazing that she was. Knowing that I was doing this, knowing that I wanted to do Bruichladdich and Lefroy and Ardbeg, I emailed the 3 distilleries and said to them, I've got X amount of people coming, it's the big bash, would you be able to, I don't know, donate some bottles or do something so that everybody can taste along with me? And Lefroy, no answer whatsoever. Ardbeg went a bit, oh, well, we only do local charities and things like that. I was, okay, fine, fair enough. Could you maybe do cost price? Oh, well, we only do charities and things like that. I was, okay, fine. Let's see how much we can get it at Morrison's and things like that. Christy comes back. Brilliant idea. Yeah, we'll help you out. Yeah, we'll give you some bottles. So the Bruichladdich Classic that you've got has been donated by Bruichladdich themselves. Not only that, I then went back to her and said, do you know anybody at Lefroy or Ardbeg? And you might, maybe have a word with them and see if we can do something. Oh yeah, my brother works for Lefroy. And I used to work for Ardbeg. I'll go and have a chat. So she drove that afternoon, she drove to the 2 distilleries and picked up the others. So part of your ticket money, I had to pay for the Lefroy and the Ardbeg, but let me tell you, it certainly wasn't retail price. And she packaged them all up. It was over Christmas, so the island shuts down, and then she put it all in post, and it turned up, and I was just stunned. So I think Christy McFarlane deserves a round of applause, to be honest. I think that is above and beyond the Call of Duty. That is absolutely amazing stuff. So I've got my book of notes here, because you probably noticed if you've been watching my videos that I don't actually know it all off the top of my head. So bear with me. This is where I'm at. I don't do that. Right. Bruichladdich then was built in 1881 by the Harvey brothers, and they also owned 2 grain distilleries in Glasgow that was called Dundas Hill and, or probably Charlie. Dundas Hill. We've got Scotsmen in the room. They know how to pronounce things. It is Bruichladdich, isn't it? Pretty much, yeah, okay. So yeah, Dundas Hill and Yoko. And it stayed in that family until it was mothballed in 1929. I'm basically going to stand here and read the notes that I've read. I'll get to him in a minute. I've just accidentally pressed the button. So it was reopened by the owners of Ben Nevis in 1937. It changed hands a number of times. It had a bit of a checkered history. It sort of got along just about, but not done particularly well. Invergordon took it over in 1968. And through the 70s and 80s, they kind of reduced production and it just fell by the wayside. And then Wyatt Mackay took it over, and in 1995, mothballed the distillery completely. Surplus the requirements, can't be bothered with it, don't need it. So in 2000, there was a consortium of 25 shareholders, which was mainly led by this guy, who's called Mark Rainier, who was quite high up in Murray David, which is an independent bottling company. So he teamed up with this guy, Jim McEwen, who was a master distiller at Bowmore Distillery. Bowmore or Bowmore? Bowmore. Oh, okay, I got it right that time. The Bowmore Distillery. So they bought it for £6 million, and that included the existing stocks that were there as well. And they did a lot of work with casks while they were working on their own stocks as well. And really, they were really good at marketing. They knew what they were doing because they got the experience of Bowmore, and just really revitalised Bruichladdich as a brand, as a whiskey. Quality went through the roof. Loads of people were loving it. It was absolutely fantastic stuff. And then in 2012, Remy Cointreau came in and bought the distillery. And Mark Rainier went, no, not having that, and he walked. So he left. Jim McEwen retired in July of 2015, and that brings us up to date with Bruichladdich. Now, Bruichladdich are very big, and if you've watched any of my videos on Compass Box, I talked about transparency and about whiskey companies, some whiskey companies wanting to be as open and as honest as possible about what's in the bottle, how they've made it, what cask they've used, everything like that. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do this live because that's what the bottle looks like for people that are watching at home. You've seen the bottle of it because it's on your table. I'm going to try and go onto their website because you can actually, there's a code on the bottles and you can put the code in and it'll tell you what the makeup is. Now I'm not going to go through it all the way through, but no, is exactly how they made it. Oh, for goodness sake. A8 technology. Helps us with the right name as well. Because their feeling, like Compass Box, is that there is far too much secrecy and people trying to make things sound more impressive than they are. Hey, this is a good place for me to sit, isn't it? It's good for an audience. So, right, let's get to this bit. I did this last night and it worked absolutely fine. There we go. Right, so if you went onto the Brooklady website, who's got a bottle in the hand? Somebody got a bottle, right. So, on the back of the bottle should be a 5-digit code, and it'll be 2 numbers and then a slash and then 3 numbers. And 16/200. So, you put that into there, and it tells you that that particular one was bottled last year, and it's a vatting of 76 casks, 4 vintages, 2 barley types, and 5 cask types. And it will tell you how many casks of what was in it, where the barley was. More information than really anybody realistically wants. But that to them is transparency. That to them is them telling you exactly how that particular bottle was made, which is really quite impressive, and I think is absolutely fantastic. There's a proper whiskey geek that. Actually, is there any left rather than me opening this? This is what I got given from the. Is there some left in that? I'll have some of that. I got sent this by the woman that works at the Brooklady gift shop, tour shop, Mary McGregor, and it's the cutest little thing ever. So this is why I don't want to open it, because it's really sweet. What? What? Is that my mum taking the mick out of me? Yes, it is, isn't it? Right. So.
It's dry and whiskey.
Don't tell them that. I am, but he's literally that and water for the rest of the night for me. So, Brooklady, has everybody got some now? Yeah?
Anybody want more?
Because they could, yes, yeah, who's downed it already? Who's necking it from the bottle? Joe? Do you want a straw?
Maybe well.
So, I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible because I'll be honest, the tasting side of it when I'm doing the videos is less interesting to me because I'm talking about what I think of it. And that's one thing I found as I've gone through doing all these videos is I went from, I don't like this is rubbish, it's a rubbish whiskey because I don't like it and therefore it's badly made. And I've kind of realised overdoing it that just because I don't like it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Yes, there's some bad stuff, Fujikai, but the majority of it is, it's not bad, it's just not to my taste. So I've found myself becoming, okay, I don't like this, but for people that do like this type of flavour, this is why you might like it. We've got Brooklady, Lefroy and Ardbeg on tonight, so the next two are very peaty indeed. And I appreciate that not everybody's into peaty whiskies. I'll tell you, oh, the legends are in. I knew I could rely on you guys to make an entrance.
We have it.
Exactly there. Oh no, out in the car park's good idea. Right, this is where the night goes downhill. We were already starting pretty low anyway. So, right, so Lefroy and Ardbeg, very, very peaty whiskey, may not be to everybody's taste. Brooklady is, there is some argument. The trouble I have now is that in the room, we have at least one expert on Ireland that's just walked in. So I'm going to say stuff and they're just, I'm not even going to look at them because I know they're just going to be sat there going, no, it's not true. That's not true at all. So I'm not looking over there and I'm now not looking there. So I'm just going to look at that direction. So this is unpeated or very, very, very slightly peated. I'm not going to go into the phenols thing. I did that last night. It's too technical, but this is as near damn it unpeated as possible. So while I nose it, does anybody want to shout out anything that they get? Don't be shy. We're all friends here. Or not. Just sit there in silence.
Lemon.
Yes. Give me more.
Salt.
Yes. Salty lemon.
Quite spirited.
Quite spirity or white spirity? Oh, quite spirity. Yeah. Jesus, sorry, what are you drinking? Tastes like Wilkinson's white spirit. Specifically Wilkinson's, not B&Q. Quite spirited. Yeah, it's 46%. How much of the Whiskey Exchange selling this for, Billy?
Some money.
Some money.
I can't look it up.
Yeah, because I didn't write it down. I did look it up and then I didn't write it down. I'm going to guess. Oh, hang on. 38?
40 quid. Yeah, it's all 40, 45 probably.
Oh, yeah, and you put odd things like 45 pence and things as well, don't you?
45 or 95, always 45 or
45 or 95 quid. Pence.
What's the lowest 45?
Right, okay. So, okay, around 40 quid, and I will get confirmation in a second when Billy gets connected to the internet. So we've got salty lemon, quite spirity. Yeah. So this is 46%. 50%. Which one's 46%? 50%. So that's that spiritedness. So considering it's like the, I don't know, basic version, you know, kind of a non-age statement. There's no age statement on it. 50%, slightly higher than you would probably expect. And that's where that spiritedness is coming from. Anybody else? I'm not going to tell you what I think you should nose it. I know.
£38 after a boss because Whiskey Exchange hasn't got now.
Sorry, was that? So the Whiskey Exchange are in the room and they haven't got any.
We do. We're 38.95.
So, oh, they do have some, it's just more expensive.
It's a figure on the sales point.
So how much was that a Master Roll? £38. Did I say £38?
But at the same time, a Master Roll here.
All right, children, settle down. I get enough of this at home. She's starting it. No, yeah. It is quite spirity on palate as well. Does anybody get the lemon and salt coming through? And something else. It's kind of slightly oily as well.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
Lemon cheesecake.
Oh, lemon cheesecake. Oh, yeah, because it's kind of slightly creamy. Oh, hello. Yeah. I thought you were about to heckle. And I was going to tell you to leave. Okay, good, thank you. I like this a lot, although I think it is a little bit too spirity. But I do like that lemoniness. I don't think it's much of a quaffer as such, although you really shouldn't be quaffing whiskey. Responsible drinking in that, says the man who's drunk a dram a day for a year. But there's a really nice light death touch to this, a slightly coastal element, and herbs. Yes, definitely. It's kind of savoury, but really, really nice indeed. So, I need to finish that one off, because we have things to be cracking on. Does anybody have the time? Because we've gone that clock. It's been 10 to 11 for the last 3 hours. 8 o'clock, right. So, that's dram number 364 done. Dram number 365 will be a lot more professional. Maybe. So thanks again. Food is imminent, I believe. So what I'm going to do is we'll do the food, go get some food. I'm going to text my DJ to say how bloody hell does my iPod work so we can get some background music. And if we aim for about 20 past 8, is that okay with everybody to grab some food, get some food in there? You can have food while you're doing it, it's not a problem. You don't have to put your hand up, Joseph, it's not school.
I have a question.
Go on then.
Where do you get theme music from?
Where do I get my theme music from? YouTube free audio music. Because I got stung. Which one was it? If you try and watch the Prince of Wales video and the Bagpiper video in Germany, you can't. Because I used, I can't remember who the band was, and I got a YouTube violation notice or something like that. So that's why I had to re-upload them. But do you really like the song? Okay, it's called The Creek. And if I could get the iPod on, I'll put it on a loop if you really want. So yeah, so food is actually innocent. What the hell? I only have one. Food's not in there, is it? It's coming soon to a theatre near you. So food's imminent. Anybody who's not paid, late people, particularly, I'm looking at you particularly. Rebecca by the door is taking names and cash. And I'm going to try and go around everybody. There's people here that I don't know who you are, but I'm glad you're here. Oh, right. I have been introduced, right? Somebody that I've encountered on the internet, and I've been introduced to their wife as, this is Ben from the internet. That doesn't sound dodgy at all. So yes, I'm going to try and get music sorted out. Food will be, have a chat amongst yourselves, and
I would just also like to say we are pouring drams for anyone in the interim between your tasters.
Yes.
Wait for the bin. And obviously they're all free, but we recommend donations.
Little donations would be nice.
Don't be shy.
And the same goes over here on eating too.
Yeah, I've got some of my stuff from the garage. So if you don't want some decent whiskey, there's a couple of good bourbons in there. I highly recommend the Bonnie Rose. It is.
This one.
You have it.
You'll all know if you haven't watched this YouTube channel if you taste this one.
It's absolutely fantastic. I shouldn't have actually said that because my mum and dad bought me that and they're in the room. Have you watched that video yet, Mum? Because you knew it. Yeah, because you hate me. Right, so yeah, so there's some stuff over there. Likewise, if you want to put a donation in the pots, and yeah, 25 past 8, let's go for it. Right, thank you. I'm hoping these are still working, and I'm just going to leave it running.
Just to let everybody know, food's ready.
The food is available. Well, that didn't work, did it? Tea's up. Dinner's ready. Ding, 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 ding. Dinner's ready. Come on, children. I'm back at home again. Will you come downstairs for your dinner?
I fucking said it.
You might already.
I have forgotten, so I'm glad you told me.
Leaves, so it gives loads more smoke.
Yeah. This is different types of heating as well. It's like yes. It's that sort of level thing as well.
Heads up, everybody. We're probably looking at 5 minutes. I think we're going to go around and start pouring. We're basically using the same glass tonight, so if you've got anything left, we're going to try and get some spare glasses for you to tip out if you don't want to drink the rest of it. Rinse with a bit of water and then go with the same glass. Or maybe spittoons. So yeah, a couple of minutes and then we'll go on with the next one. Is that what you wanted, Joe? Yay! Oh, but does anybody remember this one? Right, so that gets all the people that didn't watch my first 20 videos. You swines. Yeah, that was the theme music on the first 20 or so, and then I changed it. So you didn't watch any of them, did you? Right, so have we got drams? I think we're going around it, yeah? Everybody locked, cocked, ready to rock? Yeah, excellent. Right, so dram number 365, and this would have been the last one if I hadn't picked to do it on a leap year, like an idiot. I know, get an extra one in, yes. Am I live? I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, you've just lost connection. I'm still live. Everybody on Facebook and YouTube, I've just left it recording. So for the last half hour, they've just seen nothing. I better not check the comments. Are you doing anything or not, Ben? Right, okay, so 365. Yeah, I timed it brilliantly. I decided to do it on leap year, and literally 2 weeks after I said I'm going to do this challenge for a year, they reduced the government regulations for drinking alcohol down to 14 units a week. Oh crap, I can't even drink that much beer now, rubbish. So, Lefroy 10. So the sample I have is a donation from Andrew A.P. Butler, not Andrew P. Butler, as I called him for about 3 weeks on the trot, who's in the room, sat over there. Andrew, thank you very much for this. This is definitely the last one. Andrew is the gentleman who, I'm sure, in total, it's 57 samples he sent, which is just mind-blowing. It really is absolutely amazing. So yes, if you know where he lives, you know where to book. He's got some amazing whiskies in there, and he's also donated some stuff to the auction as well. The High Grove Lefroy he donated, the Johnny Drum Bourbon, and the Grey Parrot. In fact, I'll talk about the Grey Parrot now because that's quite a special bottling. I keep saying if you watch my videos, like none of you have watched any of them. I talk quite a lot about the Pattison brothers. Is it Pattison or Pattison? Pattison brothers, Patisserie brothers, they were French, who basically caused a whiskey crisis by being too big for their boots, spending lots of money, all on credit, and then being responsible for the credit wanted to come back. They went bankrupt, and a load of distilleries, if they didn't go bust, very nearly went bust. And they were very big on advertising and doing stunts and marketing and everything like this. One of the marketing tricks that they did was, was it a case of they actually, if you bought a bottle of their whiskey, you get a Great Parrot with it? Or was that an advert? Or?
Pubs that stocked cases of their whiskey. Right. They were 50 of them got
a parrot. Okay, so if for people not in the room, pubs that bought cases of Pattinson's whiskey, if you bought enough, you get a parrot, as you do. So what Andrew's done is he's got in touch with Master Vermont, not the Whiskey Exchange. Don't think Ollie heard that, so we're all right. And they, he's fine, whatever. They've done a recreation of what the Pattinson's whiskey was like. And is it Glen Farkless in it, and some other bits and pieces. There are 3, I believe, in existence of this. of which one is on the auction. So well worth getting, because there's only 3, and I think Andrew's got one. Where's the other one? In a vault.
I've got one that's open, one is
Okay, yeah. So there's 2 in existence because one of them's open. So well worth putting into that. So Andrew, thank you very much for that as well. So Lefroy, I did a presentation on PowerPoint. This is one slide. This is the other one, and that's it. I didn't put a picture of the bottle up. I ran out of time. This was at midnight last night. Oh, can I have one of the bottles? Because they need to know what it looks like. So Lefroy, which is on the south coast. Lefroy, Lagavulin, Ardbeg. Lagavulin I did at number 10, so a long time ago. Those 3 distilleries are known as the Kildown distilleries. Thank you, Irish assistant. The Kildown distilleries, I had no idea why it was called the Kildown distilleries. There's a monument, Kildown Cross, which these distilleries are on the road to. I found that out about an hour ago. So, I'm not a whiskey expert, as you can probably tell. So, the official start, and it does actually say on the label, established 1815, which was by Alexander Donald Johnson, not Thompson, I can't read my own handwriting, but it's believed that he was actually operating for a good few years before that, about 1810 onwards. The licence was granted in 1826, and then in 1847, Donald unfortunately died because he fell in a big still pot ale. Not a great, well, kind of a great way to go, but not a great way to go as well. Donald had a son called Dugald, as you do. So his great-grandson, Donald's great-grandson, was a guy called Ian Hunter, and he was really a guy that kind of got Lefroy off the ground and really going. And by the 1920s, although a lot of malt whisky distilleries were using blends, they were really pushed as a single malt. And when he died in 1954, he left, because he didn't have any family to leave the distillery to, so he left it to his secretary, who was a woman called Bessie Williamson, and she was the first female owner of a distillery on Islay. And she did a really good job. She retired in 1972, but was really, really highly regarded, and did a cracking job in keeping the distillery going and keeping it a success. A US distillery called Shenley bought it in 67. She retired in 72. There were a few acquisitions sort of back and forth, which eventually got it into Jim Beam's hands, who bought it from Allied Distillers in 2005. And then Jim Beam themselves were bought by Suntory, who also own the malt. So we now have a Japanese company who owns 2 distilleries on Islay. They have their own malting floors. If you've watched some of the other island distilleries, Port Ellen is quite a big supplier of the peated malt, particularly for the island distilleries. Lefroy have their own malting floor still. It supplies about 20% of the malt barley that they need. And they use, thanks to Joe for pointing this out, because I've kind of forgotten, that they use wet peat rather than dry peat. So it's not quite compost, but it's kind of it's kind of leafy peat that they use to smoke and dry the barley, and it creates a quite distinctive character that makes it quite distinct from everything else. It's less dry. It's more almost, vegetable's the wrong word, but it's got more of a kind of earthy, greenery character to it. So if everybody's glasses are charged, so this is the standard 10-year-old. How much was the Whiskey Exchange selling it for? So it's so helpful, this building. Ollie, how much was the Whiskey Exchange selling it for? Okay, fine, right, okay. Whatever the Whiskey Exchange is selling it for, Marshall Moore probably selling it cheaper.
Normally it's about 2p cheaper for delivery.
Okay, fine, fair enough. I'm going to go with 42. Searching. Get my 25 mils going.
38.45.
38.45. Is that on special offer down from 42? Oh, okay. Okay. Nearly. 38.45 then. So the same price as the classic Latin. So Lefroy, mainly bourbon casks, stretching back from sort of the Prohibition days when they used to acquire bourbon casks to mature the whiskey, but they do use some sherry casks. It's quart cask, sherry cask. That's it. Or, no, I know it's all the cask, but was that a sherry cask user? Okay, I'm talking rubbish. Ignore me. No, don't ignore me. So we're getting into the really heavy peated stuff. Ardbeg, I think, is scientifically peatier than Lefroy, but it's a very close thing because it's kind of taste as well. Oof. Does anybody not like peated whiskey? Like really not like it? Yeah. You're not going to be a fan. Have you tried it? Could you get past the nose?
£25 at Asda.
£25 at Asda? Blimey, get yourself to Asda. Yeah. The staff of the Whisky Exchange are going to Asda tomorrow. Brilliant. It could be worse. It's probably what, 60 quid at the whiskey shop. I can say that. I used to work for them. They were such a rip-off. Did I say that now? So yes, there is a kind of vegetal's not right, but it is like a wet smokiness. Just sounds wrong, really wrong. But it's definitely, it's not dry by any stretch of the imagination. But it's not as full on as I thought it was going to be. It's 40%, and I think that might be why. Was anybody expecting this to be like really, really full on palate? Or is it just me? Crap, it's just me, isn't it? Oh well. It's definitely there, and it's definitely lingering, but it's not as full on in your face as I thought it was going to be. There's a kind of sweet barbecue element to it as well. I don't think Jo likes it. I'm just, no, she's not feeling it. Excuse me. Right, anybody, come on, help me out here. Anybody getting anything from this, tasting notes wise? Oily. Oily, yes. Mum said plimsolls. Black plimsolls. Oh yes, the black rubber plimsolls, yes. Tyres? But not brand new plimsolls, ones that have been worn in a bit and they're a little bit sweaty. Yeah? Yum. What a lovely tasting note that sounds. Grilled mackerel, I like it. Come on, we can get poncier than plimsolls and grilled mackerel. Let's really. Pardon? Blue cheese mould, yes. Oh yes, that'd be why I like it. So, who likes blue cheese but doesn't like peated whiskey? Or are the two intertwined? You're the other way around. You don't like peated whiskey, but you like blue cheese. The other way around to that. Right, okay. Okay. I thought it might be Dad. Dad does like blue cheese. I know you like blue cheese, but you don't like peated whiskey. Okay, fair enough. I thought it might be because it's a similar taste. So, I like this a lot, but I like peated whiskey, so I am biased anyway. Okay, hands up who would buy the Bruichladdich Classic instead of this, considering it's the same price? Yeah. Well, okay, and who would go for the Lefroy? Oh, hands down winners. Okay, interesting. I think the Ardbeg is there. You need to find the Ardbeg price out before we get going. Okay, so £365 is down. We are done. Hang on. It's not over yet. Podcast. But no, I shall answer this and I won't give you a chance to respond. I didn't do quartercast because, as you well know, when I said I was going to start doing the challenge, my aim was to do the core release from each distillery and or brand. So that was why when you said I could send you some samples, I was like, brilliant, mate. And you sent me all sorts of random SHIT. To which I had to go back and go, Ollie, thanks, mate, but as I said on my original one, I'm trying to do the core. And I've got the 10-year-olds the core. I'd love to do the quartercast because I absolutely love it. And it is better than this, to be perfectly honest. But my challenge was to do the standard bottlings. But, what? Can you have samples back? No? Oh yeah, hey, if you do want your samples back, there's a lady over there who I've only met for the first time tonight, who's got most of them. And she might have drunk them all. Yes, sorry Jason, what was that? What whiskies am I doing next year? Everything. Yes, all the leftovers of Ollie's that didn't actually count towards the challenge. Right, 376 is done. 76, Jesus. Yeah, I might have had a few beforehand. Well, settle the nerves, you know. 365 is done. Yay! Right, we're there. We have our auction in a bit, so I'm going to crack on with the last one. But Rebecca apparently wants to say a few words. She does. Do you want this?
No. I just wanted to.
Well, what about the people here? Oh, come here and stand there. Because there's people online here. There's millions of people online. There's about 10. Half of them in this room. Joe, you're in the room. Why are you watching our Facebook?
There's like a lot of people watching on Facebook.
I know. What are you doing? Why are you here? Right.
Just wanted to, first of all, thank everyone for coming, because all of your money, all your donations is going to a very, very great cause. It's the Children's Heart Surgery Fund. And I'm just going to tell you just a tiny bit about it before he breaks me. The Children's Heart Surgery Fund supports the Leeds Pediatric Cardiac Unit. Sorry if I go a bit teary because this is close to my heart. Where my son was born. He was born, well, I found out on my 20-week scan that he had multiple heart problems. And he was born in Leeds, and 5 days later he had a open heart surgery. And it lasted 6 hours, which is by far the shortest one that he's actually gone through. Then, as soon as he was done with that, it only took a few days, like a week before he was back home. But then he had a few more checkups, and it became clear that there were some complications from it. And he developed an aortic stenosis, and that's just a narrowing behind the valve and a narrowing of the aortic valve, which is the most important valve in your heart. Now, he's since then, he's gone through 3 open heart surgeries and some smaller procedures to try to correct this. And as of yet, he hasn't been able to correct it. His last surgery was when he was 4 years old. He was supposed to be starting school for his very first time. And instead, he was in hospital with his 4th open heart surgery. Within a few hours, we found out that the surgery didn't work, and that the next surgery he needs is a very, very complicated surgery. And that requires 2 valve transplants. His pulmonary valve moved to his aortic valve. And then his pulmonary valve will get a donor valve into it. Unless he can get to an adolescent stage, where then he only needs 1 valve replacement, and then he can have a mechanical valve fitted for his aortic valve. But at the moment, he's too small. His story is like countless tens of thousands just in this area. If you don't know, congenital heart conditions is one of the biggest challenges that faces the hospitals at the moment. We are lucky. I've been in the hospitals, I've stayed there for months, and I just watched how lucky. I mean, you might be thinking, oh my God, he's been through 4 surgeries. He's going to need countless other ones afterwards. But he's one of the lucky ones. He got through, and that's because people like you have come to support. I mean, you might not have come just to support the surgery, but you are here and you are supporting it. So each and every one of you is now part of my son's life, and you're part of his future. And I wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to say a big thank you to Ben for taking on this challenge, because it's just absolutely amazing that he's raised, I don't know how much he's raised so far, but you think 5,000.
I think if we get the bids and I get the money from the bids, from the auction, we will definitely go through 5,000.
Yeah. It's looking really close at the moment. With that money, it pays for all sorts of things. So what you're paying for is you're helping to pay for beds that are in the hospital, the important equipment, so the electrocardiograms, ones that do an echo to see, an ultrasound to see what the heart looks like. You're also helping everybody from fetuses, so not yet born, all the way up throughout their adulthood. So until they die, they still have to go through the same unit. At the moment, Leeds is trying to put in a new theatre, which is going to be one of the best in the country. You also help to support little things like having Wi-Fi on the ward, which if you've been stuck in a hospital for a month in one room, which I have, I'll tell you, it's not fun not being able to connect to the outside world, and having Wi-Fi there is like a godsend, and especially with kids. You also pay for iPads for the kids, and then you can pay for things like my son is taking his he's had to seek professional help, you know, just because he's too stressed because of all the operations, and so he's developed paranoias to things like plasters, doctors, and everything like that. So he gets all that help and support from the unit from many different sources, and without them, you know, he can't just little things in life he can't get through. So you guys have done such a fantastic job. And then also thank you to Ben's parents for donating a lot of the whiskies that will be on there and throughout the challenge. And thank you very much.
We kind of joked after about 9 months after Kyrie started school. In fact, before Kyrie started school, we'd always joked about how we want her to marry some blue-eyed blonde American kid so that she could move to America and then she could take us to America with her. And Vaughan is a blue-eyed, blonde-haired kid with an American mother, and the two of them get on like a house on fire. They're absolutely just fantastic, the pair of them. And yeah. They have their ups and downs, and they don't play together, and then all of a sudden, yeah, they're getting married. So, so you're all invited to the wedding next week, apparently. But yeah, he's an amazing kid, and to look at him, honestly, you wouldn't know. I had no idea about the tribulations that he'd gone through. Not a clue. I knew he'd had some issues, and I went to Rebecca to say, you know, if you were going to pick a charity, who would it be for? Because I was wanting to do this charity, and I didn't really know what to do, what charity, anything like that. We didn't have anything personal. And she said straight away, the Children's Heart Surgery Fund. And then she sent me an email with everything that he'd gone through, and it was like, Jesus, how is this possible? So I couldn't think of a better charity to raise money for. I honestly didn't think I would get anywhere near the £5 grand. It was a total finger in the air when I set up the Just Giving page. 50 quid would have been good. I didn't even know if I'd get anywhere near the challenge, and yet I'm here now in front of you, slightly out of my mind, with a view of looking at some of the bits that we've got on silent auction, what we could potentially do and get through that £5,000 that is so vitally important. So all of you, give yourselves a round of applause, because it is absolutely incredible. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Make the effort. It's really, really appreciated. I cannot believe the amount of people that are here that have made, some of you making the journey to get here. It's, yeah, it's really humbling, really humbling. So, shall we do the last one? Yeah? Okay. Are we, right, I'll play a song while I'll play a song. Let's play Guess the Movie.
Yes. Oh, that no, that's more like good numbers. Yeah.
Okay, can we start doing things with glasses to make them empty, to make room for some Ardbeg? Unless, oh, hang on, has the Ardbeg been done? Are we Ardbegged up? Ardbeg? Oh, nobody told me. Right. Right then, should we do this, or are people still bidding? Oh, let's do it while they're bidding. I've had a bid come through on email, so hang on, she's gone. Rebecca, there's the email, Avril. Right, there's the email. Getting emails through left, right, and centre. That was a really stupid idea about doing an auction at the same time as doing this. Sorry? Who? Andrew McGregor. Does anybody know an Andrew McGregor?
Yes, that's me.
No, you're Avril, dear.
Yeah, Andrew McGregor's my friend.
Oh, okay, right. Thank you, Avril's friend, if you're watching. He's not, is he?
He is.
Oh, he is. Thank you, Andrew's friend. No, Avril's friend. Yes. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, that would have been a lot simpler, wouldn't it? Right. So, Dram number 366. Oh, brilliant. Ross. John Dunn. Oh yeah, John Dunn's put some bids in as well. So I suppose I better apologise because it was a charity gala thing and you're probably thinking, well, he's not really dressed up, has he? I will in a minute. The reason I'm wearing this is exactly what I wore on Dram number 192. Yes. Yeah, it's just like finished. And weirdly, the ones that I did before, so the 3 I did before this, I was wearing the same shirt as I was wearing when I did Drams 3 and 4. Ooh, spooky. So I knew from day one that I wanted to finish on Ardbeg because Ardbeg, personally for me, has the most meaning as a whiskey and as a distillery. And the reason for this is Ardbeg 1977 was a whiskey that quite literally, no bullshit, no kind of building stories up, actually did change my life because I can still remember the exact moment that I tried it. I was working at Oddbins in Newcastle, Newcastle City Centre, and great job. Some of the customers were a bit weird because it's Newcastle City Centre. We used to get Chavas walking in going, "You've got any tabs?" Making cigarettes, to the point where we had to put a sign up on the wall saying, "Need 10s, need Lamberts," because that was all they asked for was 10 Lamberts. Scroach. So they had a wine rack behind the counter that had all the whiskey sample bottles. And when you're working there and it's quiet, or it's a Saturday night and it's about half an hour before you close up, you decide to do some staff training, which is basically, right, what one haven't I had yet? And the Ardbeg 77 was there. Can you imagine having a bottle of Ardbeg 1977 as a tasting bottle? Just like now, mind-blowing. Then, yeah, I haven't had that one yet. And I can still remember being in the shop, pouring it out, trying it, and I can remember just being so blown away by it. I could not believe that a liquid in a glass had so much complexity and flavour and finish and just went on and on for hours. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And it turned me to whiskey. I was already interested in it with my dad collecting it and things like that, but it was the one that made me realise just how amazing whiskey was and really started my passion for it. I've been extremely, extremely lucky to be given a sample of Ardbeg 1977 by Soren Krebs, who's over there on the fractions table. He has given me those little jam jars that you get with jamming when you're staying at a hotel. One of them with Ardbeg 1977 in. So really went for the packaging name. Yeah, it's got a strawberry note to it, I think. So I haven't tried it yet. I'm just hoping it's going to be as good as I hope it is. I hope it's as apocryphal, is that the word? I don't know. It's as good as I remember. I really hope it's as good. So that was why I wanted to finish on Ardbeg and Ardbeg 10 as the standard version. And Ardbeg 10 is the core version, and this particular sample was donated by one Oliver Chilton, who is sat over there, and this was about the only one that was a core range of the samples that he sent me. with all the other weird stuff. So Ollie, thank you, mate. Cheers for this. Ollie, if you don't know, I hired him when I was the manager of the whiskey shop. We had a Starbucks over the road. He spent more time in my shop than in Starbucks. So I said, I might as well pay you a bloody wage, because I'm sick of you being in the shop, so you can work for me for a change, rather than just sit there drinking samples in exchange for a Frappuccino. So, Ardbeg. Oh, come on, look. That looks familiar, doesn't it? Again, that's the end of the presentation. Is there on this Kildown coast, where arguably Lefroy, Lagavulin and Ardbeg are the peatiest distilleries, not necessarily the peatiest whiskies, having had Optimal the other night, which was borderline undrinkable. In a good way, but just full on. So, that's Lefroy. We've done Lefroy. Excuse me. So, founded by the McDougall family in 75 or 15? I can't remember my handwriting. Let's say 15. Although apparently, a bit like Lefroy, we think distilling was going on there for a while. And there was a bit of a healthy community that grew around the distillery, so it had a school and a village hall and everything like that. The Hay family took it over. They took over the license in 1853. Oh yeah, so it was 1815. And pretty much they kept it, but they struggled through the recession of the 1920s to the point when DCL, which was Distillers Company Limited, which was a precursor to Diageo, and Hiram Walker took an equal split in distillery. Hiram Walker, Canadian Club, another big sort of whiskey company, took over in 1959. Hiram Walker bought out DCL in 1979, and then a couple of years later mothballed the distillery. Surplus to requirements, don't really need it. It would then reopen in 1989, but it was quite intermittent. It wasn't continual distilling. They closed the malting floors at the same time. It was, it was kind of like kicking and screaming along, but no real commitment behind it. And it was shut again in 1996. Glenmorangie then bought it in 1997. Now, Glenmorangie are owned by Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. So it's bags and champagne and things like that, and premium stuff. And all of a sudden, weirdly, Ardbeg started doing releases of like really expensive bottles and limited editions and fancy packaging and all of this lot. And they bought the stock when they bought the distillery. So they were then kind of, there was a bit of a gap in terms of when they were doing this intermittent distilling that didn't give them that much stock. So you either had very young stuff, and in fact Ardbeg did release a range that started off with a very young, which was a 4-year-old? 5-year-old, 6-year-old. Well, there was a very young, and then there was a quite young, and a nearly young, and then a not so young. They did like a progression. And again, they were kind of like getting increasingly expensive. But Ardbeg is definitely a cult whiskey. It's really, really highly regarded. Very, very popular indeed. People swear by it and swear at it because it's the peatiest in terms of there's a standard version. This is one of the peatiest you can find. According to their website, they only use first and second fill casks. And I think it's bourbon casks for 10-year-old. I don't quite know why I said I think it's that. But if anybody can prove me wrong, or tell me right, you're in the dark as much as I am. So, and again, this is kind of a slightly different smokiness. It's more of it's akin to that wet peatiness of the Lefroy. I keep saying vegetal, but that kind of sounds wrong to me. But it's full on again, but it's a wet, dark feel to it, which kind of ties in with their packaging stuff. It's been a long time since I've had a 10-year-old. How much is the Whiskey Exchange selling this for, Billy?
41.45.
Oh, third time we eventually got there. 41.45. Was it something twice? Twice? So yeah, Master and Malt, probably cheaper. Asda? Has anybody got the Asda price for it? Just checking.
That's my local there,
Asda, oh right. Is it too good for Asda? It's a luxury good. So, well, yeah, but it's Walmart now, so they're going to go up in the world. Lovely earthy sweetness on this. I love this. It's been a while since I've had it, but I still think it's fantastic. Too much for some people. I've seen a couple of raised eyebrows, which is like, Jesus. It's such a lovely, it's the sweetness that gets it for me. Anybody want to shout anything out that they're getting? Pete. Knew I could rely on you. Anybody sensible want to give me anything?
Icing sugar.
Icing sugar?
With a lot of cigar smoke and vanilla extract.
What the hell are you drinking? Icing sugar, okay. Sweetness, yeah. Vanilla. Yeah. And what? Cigar smoke?
Cigar smoke.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, look, that's one of the great things about doing whiskey tastings and things like that is, and I am absolutely guilty of this. I didn't go to the point where I said, you know, you're wrong, but it was a kind of like, really? You're getting that, really? And it's personal. It's all personal taste. That's why, for me, more interesting stuff is the story behind the distillery rather than what I think. What I think is irrelevant. It's whether you like it, whether you enjoy it, whether you can pick stuff from it. My dad's got his hand up. Little £19.50. Little. Are you sure it's Ardbeg? Arthur whiskey, as opposed to Arthur pint. Oh, it tingles. Oh, it's definitely, for me, it's the sweetness on Ardbeg that just lifts it, that gives it so much depth, and it goes on forever. I love the stuff, I really do. 46%, so there's a slightly higher alcohol percentage that's probably giving that tingle around the mouth and lifting all the flavours up. I think it's fantastic. I love it. If it was 1950, little, I'd be there like a shot. So, having had the Lefroy and the Ardbeg, hands up for Lefroy. Yes. Hands up for Ardbeg. Ooh, hands up for neither. I'm guessing that's going to win. You can put your hands up. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You don't like Pete's whiskey. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Close run thing, actually. Both. Hands up for both. Hands up for both. Yeah, I knew you would. Just hands up for whiskey. Hands in the air like you just don't care. Right. That is round 366. Bloody hell. Finished. What's next? I need to have a conversation with my wife first, just to say. It has been hard. I've had some conversations with people in the room about. I haven't filmed every night. I have cheated ever so slightly because I've tended to do 2 whiskies on a night and then take a night off and then do another 2, because it would have taken too long to do it literally every night, and I wouldn't get any housework done. And I know Vicky might be watching this now going, you don't do it in bloody housework anyway, but I wouldn't get anything done. It's literally, I do 2 whiskies on one night and then the following night is ironing, giving my wife a cuddle, maybe watching half an episode of Westworld. So I'm going to take a bit of a break because I've got a stack of video games that I haven't even touched yet, and I've got a mountain of ironing to do and everything else. But am I what? My liver's fine. My liver's fine. I'm not binge drinking. I might have done 4 on one night. I've stuck to my rules. If you watch video 0, it was no more than 4 in one night. I don't think I've done more than 10 in a week, maybe. And I've used these glasses. I'm amazed I've not dropped these. These are the same 2 glasses and the same jigger that I've used all the way through the challenge. I've dropped 1 bottle, which was the Jameson's, and it bounced. So, you know, it's been a bloody miracle that I've managed to get through this. So, I'm going to do a separate video with I'm going to do 366.5 to do the Ardbeg 77. And in that video, I will thank everybody that's been involved, because there's a massive list. There's everybody that's donated, loads of you in this room that have donated samples, which it really was just kind of, I could not believe. I was stunned when, I honestly can't remember if it was you, Jason, or Joe Wilson that was the first package that I got. And it was like, somebody sent me 5 or 6 samples of whiskey of their own collection, of their own free will, for no money in return. Just, oh yeah, I did that with you. Like, yeah. Paying it forward. And it was like, wow, the people around there that do this. And what I found was the whiskey community is so generous and so, just love to talk and are open and really, really supportive. So to you in this room, to make the effort to come here to join me to finish this off is really, really appreciated and very, very humbling to somebody with admittedly confessed quite low self-confidence and belief in myself. And it's very, very easy to sit in the kitchen in front of an iPad and just rattle off about whiskey and just hit upload and not think about it and maybe deal with some comments from annoyed a Trump supporter yesterday, apparently. That wasn't me. That's not me. That's them. But I have been bloody terrified about tonight. I genuinely have, to sit in front of you people and talk about whiskies like I know what I'm talking about. But you have been amazing. Everybody that's watching is amazing. Everybody that's donated, that's put comments, that's donated whiskey and money. It's just been incredible. And I would like to carry on. I've done a bit of thinking. I need to talk about it with Vicky, but if I could maybe take a Friday or a Saturday night and film 3, and I carried on doing completely different distilleries and brands, so that it was all different videos.
Crisps.
Maybe not the crisps. Oh crap, yeah, I forgot the crisps. I'm so sorry, I forgot the crisps. It's the one thing I forgot. I got out of time. Forgot the crisps. But Jason has got some. Jason the Crisp King has brought some with him. So when the food's gone, we'll just line up all the crisps. Crap, Mum, you've completely broken my throat. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so, bloody parents. Why did I buy them? I didn't, they just arrived. If I can do 3 in a week, and they're all different, I could potentially get to 500 in another year. And I quite like the thought of doing 500 videos that are all completely different distilleries. So, you think that's worth doing? Yeah! So I'll keep the Just Giving page going, and we'll just see how far we can get. 10 grand? There you go, why not? Why not? So yeah, so I probably am going to take a bit of a break and then see how we go, but I definitely want to keep it going. It's been absolutely lovely for people to say, I'm going to miss your videos, will you keep it going? I've had some people that have put comments on videos saying, I used to just drink bourbon and nothing else, and I wouldn't touch scotch, but I watched some of your videos, and I've now got a bottle of this, and a bottle of that, and a bottle of the other. And that, outside of the raising the money in the charity, was kind of like, Christ, actually, this is worth doing, because there have been some people that have actually gone, I'm going to try that for a change. And ultimately, that was one of the reasons for me doing it, was to just provide a bit of education and a bit of fun and not try and be too stuffy and a bit too stinty and everything about it. I've learned a lot about whiskey, as you can probably tell. I've learned a lot about myself. But I think we've got a really, really good chance of getting over £5,000 for this charity, which I didn't think, honestly didn't think we'd get anywhere near. And to finish the challenge and think that that's well within sight, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. So thank you very much. I've just seen you, Sarah, and completely forgotten that I forgot to mention about your fudge. She has handmade whiskey fudge for sale over there, boxes and samples. She makes fudge out of whiskey. How good is that? So there are boxes over there. There's 4 types, yeah. So probably should have said that at the start, shouldn't I? Dessert. If you don't like the chocolate tour, dessert is available. So there's some fudge over there. Sorry, Sarah, I should have said that right at the start. So thank you so, so much for coming, for supporting, for donating, for getting me to this stage. I'll stop. I might get the table over and then we'll start the auction, yeah? Okay, fantastic. Thank you guys. Thank you all.
I think I will, yeah.
Ladies and gents, just let you know, we have still got
Yeah.
3 drams over here until 10 o'clock, and then after that it will suddenly be shined away. So by all means, we'll make use of the bottles we've got on the table, and also don't be shy about making this donation in the pot wherever you feel it's appropriate.
Oh, that one.
Is it 9:30? Oh, I've finished now, so it's going to be more. Anyone got a watch? What's the time? 9:30, right. Auction time. So, we have got, oh Christ, how am I going to do this? Right, I need 2 volunteers. Because I need somebody to look on Facebook, and I need somebody to look on YouTube. Right, Joe's got Facebook? Okay. Okay, we've got Joe on Facebook. No, you can do it then. Well, there is a delay. There is a bit of a delay on Facebook. We're going to try and give it a chance, but also try and rip through as quickly as we can. Because we've got, I'm also wondering if we've got people from the Whiskey Lounge, Bernstein. Okay, we've got people online that are probably getting impatient. Yeah? Yeah. Let me just get this down. Joe, right, so Joe there has got Facebook. He's hooked on Facebook. Has anybody got YouTube up with comments? Can you see comments? Oh, hang on. Can I see them on here? Right. You know what? I'm going to go hello. Or is that no? Good. We're online, right? Okay. So Facebook is go. What have I just done to YouTube? Oh dear. Oh, yeah. Right, so we're on. I can't see comments, that's the only problem. I thought I could see comments on that. Is anybody on? Has anybody got access to YouTube and can see comments? Because otherwise we might have a bit of a problem here. You could rather than you, Craig. It's the techie guys in the room. All right. So you're going to shout out any bits that come through, yeah? Yeah? No, you are. All right. Chris will. You nudge Chris, and Chris will shout it. You're on it. You're on it. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this. Let's do this thing. So, lot number one. To kill myself. Lot number one is Talisker 10-year-old. A bottle of Talisker 10-year-old, which was in the back of my dad's cupboard. He does know that he's donated this. Let me open it. And it's a bit unusual because it's in a green bottle. Yeah. Which I think he's sort of dating it to, if not early 90s, 1980s Scotland. Early 90s, there you go. Could tell me that earlier, when I've been putting it as a 1980s bottling. Right, I have some people that have already put advanced bids in. So I'm going to start at the highest to do. So I had 2 bids on this, advanced bids, and I'm going to go up in £5, right? So annoyingly, they've done it as 2, so I'm just going to round 1 down and 1 up. So I had a bid for £102, and I've got somebody else with me at 105. Do I have any advance on £105? Nothing? Okay, let's give YouTube and Facebook a chance. Does anybody online want to bid over £105?
Bit of a delay.
That's as in tune as I can possibly get. No? No? Oh, right, we've got technical difficulties. Let me just see, because I can see Facebook comments on this. That's from about hours ago. Come on. No. Oh, Ruth says no. Okay. Fine, Ruth, not a problem. Again, why are people watching on Facebook when you're in the bloody room? What's wrong with you? Or am I that good that you just want to see me twice? Oh, thanks for that. That reaction was all I wanted. Okay. 5, 4, 3. Nothing on YouTube. Okay. This was probably a mistake, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, sold. £105. Right. So, 105. There we go. Yes. He might be watching, he might not. I know who he is. Right. So we then go to lot 2, which is the Johnny Walker Black Label, bottled for Her Majesty's Forces. And if I had this as a separate auction a couple of months ago with a view of doing this one before I had the idea of doing a live auction on YouTube and Facebook like an idiot. So there is some markings on the bottle, on the bottom of the bottle, which indicate that this has been made at some point between, I think it was 1958 and 1969. It's a litre bottle of Johnny Walker Black, which doesn't even say, it says Black Label on this little bit on the top, but it's extra special old Scotch whisky, NAAFI. Does anybody know what NAAFI means? NAFI? Yeah, I know it's NAFI, but what does it mean? Navy Army Air Force Initiative would have been cool, wouldn't it? Right, so yes, them for HM Forces. So I was starting the bids at this at £100 because that was the highest bid that I got. And I can go to 65 times 2. 1,000, not 1,000, 130. Right, I can go to £135. Does anybody want to bid any higher than £135? Any advance in the room? No. Any advance on YouTube? I will go and check Facebook. Hang on. Somebody's joined from Facebook and said he was going to be here. Oh, naughty. Nothing on Facebook yet. We'll give it a minute. Anything on YouTube? Nope. Nope, nothing. You got comments but no bids? Sold, 135. It is actually the same person that won the Talisker. Right, so lot 3. I was so chuffed with this because I contacted Ian Buxton on Twitter and said, any chance you can sign a copy of your book so I can sell it at auction? And he was like, yeah, not a problem. So he has signed it. So a signed copy of Whiskey by Charlie, how do you pronounce the original author's name? Because it sounds a little, it reads a little like it's Amos MacDonald, and I'm sure it's not. Aeneas MacDonald. So, right, good. I thought I'd check. I thought that's what it was. So, the Whiskey by Aeneas MacDonald, which was written donkeys years ago. I think Ian Buxton's kind of done some work on it. Considered by many whiskey experts to be the finest book on the subject ever written, Whiskey was first published in 1930. Ian Buxton's wry commentary and expert analysis combined for the first time with period illustrations make this little book the perfect gift for whiskey aficionados. And he has signed it with thanks for your support for a great cause, Slancher Ian Buxton. Gentleman Ian Buxton, thank you very, very much. Okay. I have a bid with me at £20. Does anybody want to go higher than that? Go at 5s, 30. 35? 40? 45? 50? 55? 60? 65? 70? 75? This is good because that £20 was the guy that bought these two, so he's not having all of them. Where were we? 75? 75. It's on you. 80? 100. Whoa! 110. I love the fact that he turns to the lady next to him and goes, can I? Go on. 115. No? 115. I'm going to ask just in case, but any advances on the interwebs? Not yet. We'll give it a second. So we're on 115, yeah?
120?
Oh, 120. We haven't got a delay and she's bidding on the previous ones. 125, Ruth, it's on you. Come on, Ruth. Look into my eyes. Actually, that's quite scary. I'm looking at myself, that's horrible. What am I doing?
Request on YouTube to stay away from the
Stay away from you. No, the book, good, excellent, right, okay. All right, okay. Everyone on YouTube, bye. Cheeky swines. No, come back, that's not very nice, is it? Right.
No advances on Facebook yet.
Okay, apparently I'm scaring Ruth. I'm scaring myself, Ruth. Come on, bid. We're on 125. The number of people watching the video is increasing. Yes, because they're in this room. 120 for the book. Yes, we're on 125, Ruth. Technology is a wonderful thing, isn't it? Isn't it? Hugo, have you got a phone number? No. I was going to say, just give her a ring. She was supposed to be here tonight as well, and sadly she was quite ill. So she's on. Come on. I'm going to have to hurry you up, Ruth. I'm going to stop doing that as well because that's not good. I'm not seeing anything. No. Right. Sorry, Ruth. Sorry, but £125 sold. Wow. That's incredible. Right. Oscar, isn't it? Is it Oscar? Yeah, good. Okay, so the next lot is these 7 single grain miniatures. Now, Mr. X was a donator to the challenge. He donated me 40 odd samples towards the challenge. Didn't want to be known who it was, so I called him Mr. X and put that picture of Homer Simpson on it. So there are 7 miniatures of single grains. We've got a Dumbarton 1963 26-year-old, a Dumbarton 1961 29-year-old, a Canvas 1964, but it doesn't actually have the age of it, a Canvas 1963 31-year-old, Castbridge 28-year-old, Lockside 1962 31-year-old, and a Port Dundas 1973 30-year-old. I have a bid at £55. So I'm going to start at £55. Does anybody want to go higher than 55? Oh, hang on. Okay, so he's out. How do we do this? Who put the first? Who put the hand up first? It's like being at school. Who put the hand up first? Go on then, Joe. 60. Let's go in 5s. Okay. 70. 75. Jason's desperately trying to get in it. 80. Yeah. 100. That's more like it. No mucking about. 100. 100. Oh, I was just about to as well. 110. 120. 7. 120. 120. Okay, I'll do a quick check on Facebook for what it's worth. 120 is looking good. A bit on YouTube for 70. Okay, sorry, fella. Oh, good. Fortunately, Ruth actually said no more than 120 on the book, so good for that. So 125. 125 sold. Okay, so I better not drop my name. Okay, lot 5 is the Bushmills. Bushmills 10-year-old 70cl bottle, and a Blackbush 1 litre bottle that are, I've tried to do some research on this because it's got markings on the bottle where it actually says a liqueur bottle, United Kingdom. Hang on, like 1661, that's not when it was bottled. It's a 1 litre and apparently it's 71 millimetres, whatever that means. I think these are about 1980s. They're old bottlings of it. I don't have any bids on it. So, does anybody want to start me off? £20. Oh, hang on. 50. 50. Okay. Good boy. 50. Any advance on 50? Billy. 60. 60. Thinking about it? Let me check Facebook while you have a think, Joe. You have a little think about what you want to do. Anything on YouTube? Don't start Googling auction sites. 60? Anything, Craig?
Like a 20 seconds, they just walk.
Oh, bloody hell. Right, okay. People on YouTube need to be quicker.
65.
65. So, hang on, 65. Who had 60? Was that Andrew? Oh, yeah. It was Billy. No, Billy, sorry, mate. Couldn't see you. But you're far away. These are small. Those are far away. Right. 65, Billy. No? Okay. Let me show Facebook again. Shouldn't have put the table then. H. Hempel. Oh, yes. Oh, I know him. Well, I don't know him, but I've seen his name before. Right. Once, twice. Oh. 80, right. Okay. That's because he, he was one of the earlier bidders in the Talisker. What are we on? 85 or 80? 80 with Ian Mason. We're going to have to wrap it up quickly. Okay. He's an American. It's a good job I recognise these names, otherwise it would be a bit like. Ooh. What do you mean fill in? Dance. That's not a YouTube comment, that's you. Dance. Hey, what's this? It's got a good beat. 90? 90 still. Do you know what? I think we're going to call it 90. Pete James? Yeah, Pete James. Once, twice, sold. 90. What? No, not. I'm gonna have to. Otherwise, we'll never get home. Right. So that was Pete James. Pete James, 90 quid. Well, oh no, not just. We will have to arrange shipping because I think he is in the US of A. Right. Oh yes. Well, depends where it is. But yeah, we could take it out with us. Right. Lot 6. Ardbeg Serendipity. Ardbeg Serendipity, if you don't know, was supposedly a mistake by Ardbeg, where it was accidentally very, very young Glen Moray had been mixed in with very, very, very old, supposedly Ardbeg, and they decided to bottle it up and sell it for quite a bit of money at the time. So this bottle was donated by Charlie over in the room there. Thank you very much, Charlie. Very, very kind of you. I had 2 bottles of this when I was working in the whiskey shop, and I had them on a shelf in the kitchen. And I was sitting watching television with my wife one night, and all of a sudden there was this almighty crash. And I went, ah! And there was a swimming pool of Ardbeg Serendipity on the floor, both of them to smithereens. I had a sponge trying to not cut my lip on the glass, trying to suck stuff up. But I was very kindly given a bottle as my wedding present.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Ollie. And then my wife turned around and went, "They gave you a bottle of whiskey. What about me?" So I think you got us a crock pot or something, didn't you? So Ardbeg Serendipity. Wrong tab. So I have bids on here. So I'm going to. I've got a bid at £80, but I have somebody else. So. In the room, so I'm going to do 85 starting out. Anybody raise on 85? 90. I've got 95.
100.
I've got 105.
110.
I've got 115.
This is a very boring game.
130. Okay, let's just start from the side.
I've got 135.
Now I slow down. 140.
Crap, what do we do now?
Well, you give up.
That's the way the bidding works.
Yeah, but his bid is 140 as well.
145.
145? YouTube? Okay, right. Well, we've got 145 in the room.
Just going to wait a minute. We've had a question from Jamie Bush, who says, "Is Craig Gilchrist there to buy me something today?"
Okay. Craig is on YouTube. Yes, he's Craig Gilchrist is there to buy me something today. Oh, 150. Good on you, Adam. Thanks, mate. 150 on Facebook. What? 100? You're not?
155.
Oh, was that the plan out the window? 155, Adam. Craig, have you got Adam's number? I don't think I've got his phone number.
Yeah.
Just because Facebook might take a while, we could maybe give him a ring. Yeah, check. So we've got 155. Yeah, just in case. It's broken. What, Facebook's broken? We've broken Facebook? Check us out. Broken. Oh, hang on. Does that mean Adam's broken or Facebook is broken?
I don't know, that's quite an obscure message.
It is. Adam's just put a bid in and then just gone broken. I'm broken. What did I do that for?
160.
Oh, we got 160 on YouTube, do we? Yeah, we've got a person on YouTube also on the phone. Right, we've got 160. Oh, Adam's broken. Right. We're 160. YouTube. What? Adam's out. Right. 160. 160. Going once. Is that H? Oh, hang on. H Hemphill. 160. H Hemphill. We'll call it that. 160. Once, twice. Sold. Good on you, mate. Right, so the final one of the night, and apps. I think I've said gobsmacked probably quite a lot, but this genuinely was kind of like, wow. Some of you might know Andy Flapp, who's also known as the amateur drummer. I did the Spey whiskey tasting with him on the live stream. He contacted Glen Moray on my behalf and said, would you be willing to donate something? And they donated this 25-year-old Glen Moray. So Glen Moray, thank you very, very much. This is fantastic. Okay, so does anybody in the room want to start? I have a bid here. 130, 135. Right, that was that then. Right, so I'm on 135. No one else in the room? 140. Oh, hang on. We are going at 5. We go 10s if you want, we go 20s. 145. 160. 160 in the room now has it. Oh, actually, no, because he put 161. 200. Okay, I'll take that. 200. Do we have anything on Facebook? Nothing. Have we got some activity on YouTube? This is the last one. I honestly can't understand why I can't get comments on this video, and I can't find my iPod. Avril, did you give it back? No, you didn't give it back. Right. H Hempill's mine, yeah. 205. 205.
210.
210.
Just give us again.
We are on 210. Okay, so when we started this tonight, I think we were on 3,600 in the Just Giving page so far. That was, I thought, the way you raised your eyebrows, it was like you were expecting me to say 3,600 bits. Right, have we got, so where are we, 210? 210, are we going to go with 210? Was that you, Andrew? Yeah, 210? Let's go with 210, let's finish this off. 210, once, twice, sold. Right. Sorry, man. Too late. Yeah, too late. It was. Yeah, I put my hand up and go, technology, it sort of works, but it didn't quite. So, provided I actually get the money for them. So we were on 3,600, just over, okay? Those 7 lots, 950 quid. Amazing. So apologies to the people watching that have just missed out. Technology, yeah. Next time, we'll get it sorted out. So thank you all for that. So it's, what is it, 5 to 10? So we'll start clearing up. Jess, just Jess, local DJ, plays electro swing and electro jazz and stuff. It's been the soundtrack to my year. So I thought, let's do something a bit different. So we'll go and tidy up. There is a dance floor here. It would be nice if you get up. Yes. Last pour at Claxton's. They're going to be going soon. Who's had the Dram a day bottling? Who's had some of it? We like it? It's really nice. The trouble is, I really want a bottle and I've got a bottle. So, yes. 1 minute until the silent auction. If you've got any more bids that you want to put in, otherwise that's it. Get in there quick. Right, thank you very, very much. I'm going to quick clear up and then get Jess on. Just a quickie, silent auction. The numbers on the front is the current highest bid. Go and have a look. If you want to put a bid on anything, you fancy it, go for it. We're going to give you 2 minutes. That's it, done after that. So go and have a quick look. If you can't beat the number that's on there, then don't bother. Thank you.
Have you got one of those Dram a day bucks? Do you want one?
I'll get one eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean you'll get one? Oh, right.
All day.
So now, baby,
people might want to start making a movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Put the ones to the back so far that have either online or newspaper. I will hover with intent behind you.
Pardon?
I will hover with intent.
Okay, right.
Right. Go.
James, any James?
No. Anyone got James in the room? No. Okay. Right.
It's good. My name is James. Sorry.